Hello, and welcome to the Gritty Podcast. I'm your host for the evening, the Gritty Broman. This podcast was actually shot a while ago. Mountain Up starting a podcast, and for whatever reason, they decided to kind of, not necessarily can it, but they're putting it on the back burner. Brian and I kind of helped ourselves to a couple of these episodes. This episode is with Scotty, Lago. That is Lago, Lago. Scotty is a snowboarder gone entrepreneur. He's competed in the Olympics. This podcast is mostly about being an entrepreneur. Scotty is a snowboarder. He's an avid hunter, but he's also a businessman. He started a couple businesses, and we kind of pick apart his brain about past mistakes that he's made and things that he would do differently if he had a do-over. It's a really good podcast. I really like Scotty. He was a lot of fun. I think you guys are going to dig this podcast. Real quick before you go, sign up for the newsletter. Go to briancall.com, scroll down to the bottom, sign up for that newsletter. We're giving away a bunch of Leupold stuff. We're going to be giving away some Sitka stuff. We're going to be giving away everything that we possibly can. Go and sign up for the newsletter and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be doing some giveaways there pretty soon. We're going to be doing some giveaways through there too. Use code GRITTY at Mountain Ops to receive free shipping on your order, and use code GRITTY at Sissy Sticks to get a pair of those sweet trekking poles for 15% off. And that's it, folks. Enjoy the show.
It's kind of a trip listening to
yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like
you always sound better with headphones on.
Yeah, definitely. I hate my voice, but I don't sound too bad right now.
You kind of got a radio voice.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
I do appreciate that.
Yeah. He's got a face for radio. I tell you what. You hot? Yeah. We're good. Okay.
The sultry tones of Scotty. Lago,
just like the building blocks. Bro's building an empire out of snowboards, not blocks.
Lego.
Yeah.
How often do people get that wrong?
Oh, everyone gets that wrong. My freaking agent gets that wrong. It's like, seriously, we've been together for 10 years. My last name's Lago, okay, not Lago.
And he's like, Lego, my ego.
It's just hard. Jordan's bad like that.
I can be really bad.
He will get someone's name in his head a certain way.
And I'll keep saying
it. And he will say it that way.
And the person won't correct me.
Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you're just too deep, you know what I mean? You're like, calling them 4 years for that. And they would be embarrassed to correct you. They would be like, oh, by the way, my name's not Mary.
Yeah.
It's actually Sally.
It's actually Sally.
Yeah. So
that's happened too often. There's a lady, her name is Riza. I just call her Riza.
Yeah.
And I call her Riz.
Her name's Riza. Her name's Riza.
And her husband finally was like, dude, my wife's name is Riza, right?
Riza from Leupold?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I told him too. But this is the difference. He ignored me for I don't know, a few months.
Yeah.
Until her husband came and said, by the way, it is wrong,
And so
what am I, chopped liver?
I finally called her by her correct name, and she said, I don't like that you call me by my correct name. I like that you call me Riz. And so I'm like, yeah, listen, it's like a nickname. I'll call you whatever I want.
Riza.
Yeah.
She's Egyptian.
She's from Egypt, yep. We're going on a camel hunt in Cairo.
Yeah.
Yep, this year. It's going to be awesome. Really stoked for it. But guys, we are sitting here in studio with Scotty Lago.
That's right.
The man, the myth, the legend.
We're still working on my legend status.
Still legendary in process.
So what sort of snowboarding achievements have you achieved?
What are the accolades?
Accolades.
What's the trophy case
I've been in the game for a little bit. I've been snowboarding since I've been 7 years old, doing it professionally for probably around 12, 13 years or something like that. Been to events like X Games. I've got 4 medals there. I have an Olympic bronze medal for half pipe, U.S. Open podiums, Grand Prix podiums, Dew Tour podiums, World Cup podiums.
All the podiums.
Yeah, a lot of podiums. Not too many wins. You know what I mean? But, I'm up there.
You're standing
I'm up
there.
In the mix,
I think
a lot of times I would win practice. I'd throw down my best run, and people's like, "Oh, Scotty's looking good. He's looking good to win this thing." And then, I would blow it or something. But
so, what is the best snowboarding stereotype, and what is the worst in your mind?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
good question,
there's
Brian.
a lot of stereotypes. I feel like.
Because I'm a pretty good snowboarder myself.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, you're a good boarder?
Yeah,
Oh,
he can
nice.
shred the gnarly.
I didn't even know you're a boarder. All right, right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I did it for a long time.
All right, cool. Gee, I don't know. I mean, being on the inside, I don't know. What do you guys got for me?
What do you think?
I mean, you're looking
Well, it's
for
sort
the,
of like a skater, but on the mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, yeah. I mean,
I feel like
you definitely like words like bra and radical and super rad come to mind.
yeah, and sometimes
stereotype,
yeah.
sometimes I picture them smoking a lot of dope.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. I didn't really want to say that. You know, it's like it's kind of like a stereotype. You know, kind of like stoner crew.
Yeah.
Even though that's not me, but that's definitely the stereotype.
So positive stereotypes.
Yeah. What's the positive on that?
We're cool, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're cool. We're not as cool as skateboarders, but we're pretty damn cool.
I don't know. I think you.
We're cooler than skiers. We're cooler than wakeboarders. We're not as cool as skateboarders.
Okay.
Just say it.
Yeah.
That's the totem pole
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
At the top is skateboarders. Right under
Yeah.
there,
I
snowboarders.
like how it's keep
Wakeboarders, and then finally we get to the bottom of the totem pole, and then skiers are on there too.
So
No,
I,
there are a handful of skiers that are awesome.
Yeah.
I just Googled snowboarding lingo.
We need you to act as a translator.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So you're
yes.
translating for us.
Native snowboard
yep.
dialect.
Yep.
There's freshies on the super jib in Tahoe, brah.
All right, so there's obviously a big rail in Tahoe, which is in California, and there is fresh snow in and around it. So
Okay.
you're telling your bro, you know, there's fresh snow on this giant rail in Tahoe, and we got to go hit it.
So a super jib is a rail?
Yeah, well, I guess. Well, I've never called it super jib. That might be a little.
Okay, a little
Yeah,
over the top.
a jib is like a rail or something like
Okay.
metal or wooden features, anything but snow. You go
Gotcha.
up, slide it, bonk it, whatever. A super jib is just, I don't know, I guess a big one.
It's a really
Uber
big
jib.
rail.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
freshies is fresh snow,
All right.
fresh snowfall.
Okay, next one.
Yes.
I'm going to shred the gnar with woolly latex today.
I'm going to shred the gnar with woolly latex today. Yeah.
I don't know who.
Oh. Woolly is
Volet Navalt?
is the woolly mammoth that shreds mammoth.
Oh, a
mountain.
mammoth. Oh, okay. So yeah, so you're gonna ride the mountain with the Mammoth Mountain mascot, which is a giant mammoth
Dude,
bear.
look at that thing.
This is
Wow.
that thing
That's
looks like an
impressive.
elephant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
shred the gnar.
shred
It's so funny. I actually
Shred the
say
gnar.
that.
Do you say that a lot?
I say that stuff so much, but as a joke. But I say it as a joke, and it actually becomes part of my lingo. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's go shred the gnar. You know?
What would you say, Scotty, is in your bag of tricks? What's usually your go-to? Like when I want to make a statement, what's the one that you're like, I got to dig deep. I'm going in the bag of tricks. I'm going to pull out my best
A
trick.
statement trick.
Yeah. What's your statement trick?
Well, I mean, like anything, like in the half pipe, you know, just amplitude. You know, going big. You know, that shows control. That shows, you know, that's just style. You know, and it has the the wow factor. You know what I mean? So it's like. I used to poach like the U.S. Open finals, you know, and you just go as big as you could, you know, and like the crowd would be on the deck and they would be like, oh, you know, like, and you would see photos, you know, people like looking up, like with their mouth dropped, you know what I mean? Nowadays it's like, you know, you'll see one person without their cell phone, you know what I mean? But that would be like a statement trick. Also like a rodeo. A rodeo is pretty cool. Everyone, you know, it's a trick that's been around forever, but
When you stylize it the right.
yeah, when you
get that
stylize it the right,
amplitude.
you know, and you stomp it, and it's always impressive.
Okay, now a stomp is when you land it.
Yeah, stomp.
So
yeah,
stomp.
exactly. Right. Yeah, that's part of the lingo that I just.
Yeah, it's like thumper, but just like you just stomp.
Stomp
your
is the act of authoritatively and definitively landing a freestyle maneuver.
100%.
Yep.
It's when you stomp it, bro.
Crunchy is cool.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well,
There's
I'm
some
just
lingo
reading.
that
yeah,
has
some lingo-
You need to get up on your lingo.
Some of this has been lost in translation.
Yeah, totally.
Others has stuck and others haven't, you know.
This
But
is fake news, some of it. I do have one more question.
Oh, okay.
Because I think all listeners would like to know this.
okay,
Yeah.
this is a big one.
We all know, like, when you do this fancy stuff in the air, it doesn't always end well.
Oh yeah.
Like, what is the worst crash?
Oh, yeah.
And what do you even consider the consequences
Oh,
of your
yeah.
of your actions, or you just go with the flow?
I got it. Yeah, you gotta always be thinking like that. You know, I've been riding for a while. I need to make it this far. Without... oh man, my worst. Honestly, anytime I hit my head, I've got quite a few concussions, some pretty severe ones. Throwing up, full lost my memory.
Gotcha.
Anytime you hit your head, it's really scary. So I hate doing that. So I would consider anytime I hit my head like being some of the worst. But as far as I don't know, I've broken over like 30 bones, and all pretty much, I've broken my collarbone, my sternum, my chin, my jaw, both arms, both wrists, bones in my hands. You kind of name it.
He's like a
broken
bull
my
rider.
neck.
He sounds like Jess
This is a
Lockwood.
typical
But it just comes with it, though. You know what I mean?
sort
You
of-
learn to manage your injuries, and you learn to realize when you're really hurt and when you need to chill and heal. And there's stuff that you can just pretty much get by with throughout the whole season. Essentially, I've got I smashed my back the other day, and I've been dealing with a tweaked neck and a hurt back pretty much for like a month. But it's just something you can deal with. And I know that if I had 2, maybe 3 weeks that I could fully heal, but I don't get that time because winter's short, so you just kind of deal and keep her going,
Yeah.
You try to take calculated risk. It's definitely a fine line, and it's definitely the biggest factor in snowboarding because like without injuries,
You could crush.
you could just, you could crush, you know what I mean? And then you would have full confidence. And it's like, I know, if I wasn't like thinking in the back of my mind, you know what I mean? Like the consequences and stuff like that, you could just bring it to a whole new level. But you get spanked quite a few times, and then it's in there.
You're permanently crippled, too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So you have to take calculated risk, but also you have to be pushing yourself. You know what I mean? You got to be pushing yourself. You got to kind of make yourself scared. But that's what also makes it enjoyable. Once you have something that, you're like, all right, I want to hit this like road gap or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like the consequences are extremely severe, if you don't make it or whatever. But and when you go and you get your trick and you land it, you clear the road or whatever, that feeling, that adrenaline rush is kind of what you're chasing. It's like the same feeling after you land a run in finals, like, at a contest, that feeling you get, it's like, wow, like there's no better feeling. So I think that's what kind of, almost makes it worth it.
What was it like when you were in the Olympics at the highest level, at the biggest stage of your life and your career? How did you deal with those feelings of competing? I'm sure a lot of nervousness. You're also like, I gotta put my best self out there today if I'm going to compete against this crew. How did you manage that?
Well, I was just prepared on every single level that I could have been prepared on. My board was handled. My body was in, great shape. Dealing with, I was working with sports psychologist. You had everything kind of taken care of on all aspects of your life, you know what I mean, which kind of come together, I think visualizing is a huge, huge thing. Visualizing everything, from the basic trick by trick in the half pipe. If you see yourself doing it, I would visualize at night, my run. Go through all the tricks. I would also visualize the crowd. I would visualize the feeling after you landed, you know what I mean? And so just being prepared, actually, I was not that nervous. I really wasn't. I've been way more nervous on a lot smaller contests, ones that I wasn't fully prepared. But, I don't know. I actually landed... At that time, it was the best run I've ever landed in my life, which is crazy to think because I've been snowboarding for so long. But I put it together at the Olympics during finals, and I landed. At that time, it was my best run I've ever landed. So it was just really everything aligned, and I really do believe the power of like visualizing,
using your mind's eye and visualizing the experience, predetermining like this is what it's going to be like because I'm going to do all these things. This is how it's going to end, and you've almost lived that already, that when you finally did it, you're like, I've been here. I was already here in my mind.
Yeah, totally. And it was definitely like the best feeling ever. Like when I landed, I didn't get my score, but I knew that I'd put down the run that I wanted to land.
Right.
And it was an unreal moment.
Because I've talked to a lot of hunters that are at the top of their game, but archery and so on that have said visualization is key for them too. I feel like a lot of hunters go out without a plan. They're just kind of out doing their hunt, and then the animal steps out in a situation where
they're just reacting.
They're just reacting.
Right.
Instead of having that scenario have already played through their mind. Like when I talk to Ryan Lampers, it's like he's already pre-thought about all the 20, 30, 50 different scenarios that could happen. He's already got a plan for all of them, and he's already envisioning the drawing and the shooting and the arrow going where it needs to be. So when that moment arrives, it's just execution of what he's already.
Totally. I do the same thing with hunting too. I really do. One of the reasons why I really started visualizing is because I suffered with target panic. And like I've been shooting since I've been a little kid. I didn't even know what target panic was until 3 years ago. You know what I mean? And I was so damn frustrated with my shooting. You know, I was like, oh my God, I swear to God, I almost quit bow hunting because unfortunately I had wounded quite a few deer. You know, we all know that feeling. It's horrible. And I love and respect animals. To think that, you know, I go and injured a deer, you know, and it probably died, you know, sucks. You know what I mean? So overcoming target panic was a huge thing. So I had to visualize. You know, I'm like, all right, when this deer steps out, I know that I'm going to be nervous. You know what I mean? I'm going to take my time. You know what I mean? A slow release back, you know, and for me, it's been a big help for kind of overcoming that.
I like what you said earlier about how, and we've heard this on a few different podcasts. We were talking about Chad Mendez earlier, and he kind of said something similar. He talks about his flow state, but it all came down to early preparation. I was always trying to figure out with him too, like, what is that mindset like? And I love how you kind of described it was, I was on the biggest stage of my life, but I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous because I had done all the things up to this point to prepare myself for this moment, where I think that nervousness and that insecurity comes when individuals have not done the preparation, haven't visualized, haven't created that mind's eye of like the experience they're about to take on. Yep. And so it's really cool that that's kind of like your mindset. And you just described again how it transitioned to hunting. And so when did you start hunting? When you were
since I was a little kid.
Since you were a wee lad.
Yeah, since I was a wee lad.
Yeah.
I used to go up, you know, my tree stands with my dad before I could even pull back a bow. But I killed my first deer with a bow at 10.
Here you are today.
Yeah.
And one thing that everybody should note too about Scotty is Scotty's an entrepreneur too. We were talking about this actually earlier in my office. Like, you know, people come out of like they go into the NFL and they have their illustrious career, and then after that they just kind of hide away and they've made good money, and so they invest it somewhere, but they maybe just go, like, I know talking with Jay Cutler, bro's just spending it on land and buying up hunting opportunities left and right because he didn't get to do that much when he was playing in the NFL. Now he's living his best life of hunting, where you found a way to marry both of those at the same time, but you also have your company. You have a snowboard company. Like, you make your own snowboards.
Right.
When did you start that?
I did that about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I've just always wanted to start a business. Me and my friends did start a business. We started a headphone company. It was called Friends Headphones. And we were actually pretty damn successful. We started off doing headphones, you know, more action sports like skull candy, you know what I mean? Like selling in snowboard shops and stuff like that. And then we realized there was kind of a missing market. You know, no one was doing female specific headphones. You know, everyone would do a headphone with, like, you know, throw some pink on it or whatever, but nothing had really any style. So we kind of made the crazy and bold jump to just fully jump on this untapped market. And it worked. We were in most all Apple stores, Best Buy, Nordstrom. But unfortunately, the dude who was kind of managing, you know, we're all snowboarding, doing it professionally. And the guy we put in charge of running the business side was pretty damn bad. Pretty damn bad at managing money and running a business. So unfortunately, you know, we were so concentrated on our careers snowboarding, you know, that I got out of hand and we kind of lost the company. So.
And that's kind of when you were like, hey, if I'm going to do this again, I'm going to take the helm. Like, I'm going to.
Yeah, exactly. I just really wanted to keep it simple because business is so damn complicated. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why, like, you hear 80% of businesses fail. You know what I mean? There's so much to it. So I wanted to keep everything as simple as I could because I know how complicated it can be. Put out a good product, build slowly at it, you know, because, you know, I'm a one-man show too. So that's all, you know, I don't have enough time to fully devote, you know, bringing it up to the next level.
And do you feel like your life's work has played a big role in that? Wanting to start businesses? When did you want it? Like, when did it hit you that you're like, I want to start my own business, like, instead of just be sponsored by somebody else, you know, like?
Yeah, I mean, like, who wouldn't want to, right? I feel like it's just a pretty cool thing to want to do, you know, and I had the opportunity and I believe, and I thought that I had, I guess, the public's backing in snowboarding. What was your question again? I just blacked out.
No, you're good.
Hey, bro.
It's kind of like, I mean,
I was just shredding the gnar.
I'm always fascinated by the process. I'm fascinated by your competitiveness. I grew up watching you snowboard, you know, and I told you that earlier. Yep. I watched, like, JP Walker was actually a neighbor of mine down the street here in Farmington. I think there's a lot of people in life, and we've talked about this on another podcast. Not everybody's an entrepreneur. Not everybody's going to start businesses. Like you said, they're really cool. Like, it's really cool to have ownership of something. And so I think that would you say that feeling that you had
So actually a big inspiration, where I was going, where I just blacked out.
Yeah, you're good.
Big inspiration was Peter Line in the Forum 8. He was like at the top of his game, professional snowboarder, one of the best snowboarders and the best styles in the game, also like kind of a marketing genius. He started a company and had like 8 of the best snowboarders.
I remember that.
Yeah, so it was called the Forum 8. And he was still ripping. And I was like, dude, this guy is just the man. You know, he's started a company, has like the best team riders in the world, and is still riding. So he was an inspiration. That's kind of what I would love to be.
To be part of.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
To do something similar,
I think being the person, because you see a lot of professional athletes that go far in their athletic career, but they never quite figure out how to transition out of that, because those days are only so long.
Totally.
And the more you can capitalize them now for the future, the better. That means figuring out how to invest the money you make, how to invest, how to monetize the reputation and the character and the fan base that you build. Also, not just grow your own business, but give back more even after you're done.
Totally.
Boarding.
Yep.
Because he was an inspiration to you, Scotty, and how many we talked about it earlier, like how many people are you inspiring? You don't know. You're just doing you. But
right.
Along that process, I feel like you're really captivating a lot of young kids.
Yeah, totally.
And I think now more than ever, you're going to see a lot of kids that are coming up in the world. And what I was kind of getting at is like, he's also doing something new, which is vlogging.
Yeah, I'm new to the vlog life.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love it though. And like to the point where you're saying with Jay Cutler or whatever, like a lot of athletes, when they're competing and they're done with their sports, they kind of, they kind of float up. I kind of did that a little bit. I'll be honest. I stopped competing about 4 years ago, and I was been kind of floating a little bit. I was like, all right, I was taking the time to do the stuff that I never could do. You know what I mean? Because it's a full grind, and I was kind of floating a little bit, and I didn't like it. I liked the free time off and doing what I wanted to do, but doing this whole vlog thing right now is kind of lit a fire underneath my ass, and I love it. And it's it's set a new goal for me, and it's super fun and enjoyable. I've actually never snowboarded as much as I have this year. I've learned like a bunch of new tricks this year. My riding, I feel like, is on point, and I'm having a blast. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
that's kind of the ebbs and flows of life, though. You can come in and out of your stream, right? Of your consistency. You get inconsistent. You're like, I'm not down with this. You get back on the saddle. You start riding the horse again.
But there's not very many people that have achieved the level of success that you have in any walk of life. My question to you is, what is the reason a lot of people can't go to those extreme levels? Like, what is it that they're missing or that they haven't figured out?
I mean, I think, there's so many factors to that. You know what I mean? You can even be like, having support from your family as a young kid. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't have my family support, you know what I mean?
What do you attribute your success to?
I attribute my success to building goals, seeing goals, like having goals. Like I have a goal. If you have a goal, a lot of people just float and they just cruise and they're like, oh yeah, I'm a professional snowboarder or whatever. I have specific goals. So I think like, having a goal and then kind of breaking it down into like, all right, this year I want to do this or whatever. So I think I can attribute, a little bit of my success to that. I think I can contribute a little bit to just, I guess, hard work, like living and breathing snowboarding. You have to, right? If you want to be at the top level, you have to live and breathe it, If you live and breathe it, you have to love it too, because you get burned out if you're living and breathing something that you don't love. So I contribute to, loving what I do and then working hard at it.
Yeah, because once you set the goal, the next step is hard work to reach that milestone.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think a lot of people through life are flowing. I've seen that in my own personal life when I've gone out of rhythm and out of routine, and I've started to just focus mainly on just coasting. There's no milestone to reach. There's no goal met. And so there's also no defeat. So there's no like guilt. I'm just like,
and that's another thing too. That's a big thing. I think you just hit on. A lot of people are afraid of failing. You know what I mean? So they don't have high expectations, right? And I'm saying that for myself too. Like a lot of those floating years, right? I could have gone aggressively filmed the video part or whatever. You know what I mean? I was kind of afraid of failing a little bit. You know what I mean? I had this name or whatever. Even like, so like
putting yourself out there every day in a raw vlog style is take some guts.
And it does, and it's not like the coolest thing in the snowboarding world either. You know what I'm saying? But like, this is what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? And so I am putting myself out there a little bit, but it's making me happy, and I can see myself being pretty successful with it.
Yeah.
So I think
fear of failure keeps people from a lot.
It really does. Just go out and do it. You know what I mean? And everyone cares what people think. You know what I mean? But I guess take it with a grain of salt or whatever, and you just got to do you, I guess.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. And here's the one thing that's crazy about the snowboarding world: travel. These bros have to go from this place to this place. In fact, you're just here in Utah, and now you got to get ready for a plane flight to go back home.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be back here on the 13th.
Yeah.
Bro's back on the cadence of I'm traveling and I'm vlogging and I'm getting back to it, right?
Right.
Which is crazy. So with kind of closing that down, I seriously appreciate, Scotty, you so much, even just being able to drop in.
Yeah, I'm super pumped to be on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for having me.
I think we got to do another.
I would love to come back and do another one.
We need
really
to
get into some good.
Some deep. Do we need to get into
shit.
the pow, like the deep pow? Like
yeah,
we need to cut some fresh
straight
tracks,
to the
bro.
gnar. All right, bro.
Where can people find you? If people want to look up Scotty, where are they going to find you?
Yeah, I mean, I would love if you guys would check out my YouTube, my vlogs. So just look me up on YouTube, Scotty Lago.
And that's Lago.
Yep, SCOTTYLAGO. And then obviously you can find me on Instagram at Scotty Lago, Twitter at Scotty Lago. If you follow me on Twitter, essentially you're going to get nothing.
Yeah, Twitter's dead to you, huh?
Yeah.
You're like, bro, I'm not tweeting.
I'm really not, you know.
It takes a special person to keep that going. Like even at Mountain Ops,
like no one wants to hear what a snowboarder's got to say intellectually on Twitter. No.
But if I follow you
I
on
just
Instagram,
hit a super jib, bro.
Yeah, you were like,
if you
retweet.
If you post to Instagram, though, and you do your story, when you do a vlog and you put a little link so we can just swipe up and go right to the video.
Yep.
That's exactly, yeah. So I got one up actually right now on my Instagram.
Sweet.
A swipe up to the link to the YouTube. So
so guys, check out Scotty on Instagram, also on YouTube. He's entered the vlog life. He's going to share his life now, the behind the scenes things that are going down at resorts, on his hunts, and just life in general. You've got a lot of your friends that are joining you on that journey too. You got one actually here in studio with us.
Yeah, I got my buddy and ripping rider Zach Normandin over here, and we kind of teamed up this year and we first started just actually filming each other because we didn't have a filmer.
Yep.
And now we got a filmer and editor, and we're cruising the country in search of good snow and good times. So if you want to follow along,
follow the journey. And then for anybody who is looking to make a switch, if you don't even know, and I'm not talking about a backside switch or anything, I'm just talking about switching your board. If you want to switch to a board, you guys should check out Scotty's boards. He's got a lineup for you there. I've got your board from last year, the one that's got the shotguns on it.
Yep.
The double barrel board.
Double barrel, yeah.
And I wrote it this year, and I really love it. I've enjoyed it.
I'm stoked you like it, yeah.
Like I told you, I've been out of the game a lot longer than you.
Yeah.
Getting back into it's been fun, but it's interesting how as I got back into it, I got a pass this year. I went up a bunch of times, and everything came right back.
Nice.
From my skateboarding days, wakeboarding days. A lot of people don't even know that. But yeah, we'll ask this last question. Yeah, this last question to close it out. What is Scotty's favorite Mountain Ops product?
Honestly,
just keep me on par.
It is Slumber.
The Slumber life?
I love the Slumber. I really do, because I'm like, I know I'll need a mandatory, certain amount of hours per night to have a successful day tomorrow, so I'm not a zombie, right? And if I'm too jazzed up, I'll just lay in bed and just like sit there with my
off.
I can't shut it off. My brain just keeps going, and Slumber knocks me the hell out. And I love it,
Yep.
Slumber is my number one.
The Slumber life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get that way when I'm in back in the backcountry, and maybe it's the first day of a hunt or something like that, or I just can't sleep. And I know I need to sleep because the next day I'm going to be hiking like a madman and chasing elk.
Right.
And then the fact that you're not sleeping stresses me out, so I don't sleep more. It's just this wicked cycle. So when I take Slumber, just like I just cut that right off at the knees and go right to sleep, and I'm refreshed that next day.
Yep.
I don't take it all the time, but I take it when I need it.
Right.
And it's great.
Yep.
Well, dude, thank you so much
Thanks,
for being on the
Scotty.
show.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
Let's go conquer some more gnar, some more pow.
Yeah, let's get out there, bros.
Yeah, let's do it.
The super jib.
Let's do it, dude. It's going to be super dope.
All right. Thanks, Scotty.
That's all for now.